Malam Zansi, life makes sense again now that the world of football is, well, turning. As we love to see it with the different leagues around the world getting up and running. And welcome to GameON. I am Caesar Mabena, promising you another special show this week with a special guest later on in the show. I'll leave that as a surprise for the third segment. We'll also be talking about what's happening locally with Jerry Skosana, including what's happening out in England with the legend, Shane McGregor. Shane, well, it's great to be in your company, and I have to, in looking back at last week's results, ask you, Brighton beating Manchester United 2-1 scoreline. Is that an upset anymore?
No, not at all. Good to be here, by the way. No, not at all. I mean, I called it last week.
Yeah.
I took it in a bet, in actual fact. United are back to where they were, the normal Man United. Mm-hmm. What can I say? You've got a player that's a man of the match every week for you playing, Harry Maguire. A man of the match for the opposition, that is.
Yeah.
For the opposition, that is.
And if it's not him, it's Onana. So.
And he has, and they haven't changed it. But anyway, but back to normal for United, back to square one, looking to turn it around, but can't see it happening soon.
Well, speaking of United, one of the United legends, Roy Keane, whom you know I'm very fond of since my days as a young boy, had some harsh words to say for Erling Haaland last season. Where he criticized him maybe harshly. Haaland goes off and scores a hat-trick, 4-1 City's win over Ipswich. Your thoughts on City, but more so Haaland, and the influence he continues to have over the years. Still a very young man, by the way. Young
man, and score that many goals and that many hat-tricks. It just says it all. I can't understand why Roy Keane said that. I had a lot of respect for Roy Keane, but after making that comment, I don't understand it. Haaland is a goal scorer, and not just a goal scorer. He's an overall player. He puts defence under pressure. He puts teams under pressure. He puts his team on the front foot all the time, and that's what you need as a striker. Class player. He's going to be one of the best we've ever seen. I can tell you that now, and I'm including him in the Messi and Ronaldo's. He's scoring as many goals as they did. So you got to be saying it's special.
And as far as English football and the great scorers of English football, are we putting him in the Shearer bracket? Maybe possibly in the future if he continues in this way, or beyond that?
If he continues like this, way beyond it. I mean, Shearer's the only one that can have anything. Harry Kane pales in comparison to him, the scoring rates. So, I mean, and a young man. So a lot to still come from. And he didn't just do it in England, he did it in Germany
before.
Well, so it's a proven record, so
Now, the game we were looking forward to, I know you and I were looking forward to Aston Villa against Arsenal. Arsenal come out away from home, keep a clean sheet, and score 2. But I have to talk about Arsenal, and I'd like to get your thoughts on Arsenal, the depth. And what's coming off the bench as well, and helping them influence matches of this nature that are tough.
Bench and winning it. Having said that, this game against Villa, this is a classic one. Villa have done and given them a hard...
Losing in the early stages. Want to get your thoughts on their start of the season, including Chelsea's big 6-2 win over Wolves. Those two clubs, and maybe not too many looking towards them this season, but are they making the right moves early on in the campaign, those two?
Well, Chelsea, they're up and down. They very much are up and down. They lost a week before. They're going to win by a wide margin this one. Jury's out on them. I'll just hold back and say, well, let's wait and see. As is Liverpool, they haven't been impressive. They haven't started the games off on a high note, but they've come into the games better. I'll wait and see. I'm surprised they haven't bought a defensive midfielder and a centre back. But you got the Aston Villas. The one that's been surprising me is Newcastle, not prime players. I don't understand that why. Now, let's quickly look at what's happening this weekend, and I'll start with later on this evening, or the late game this evening. That's West Ham against Manchester City. We spoke of West Ham and the improvements last season, coming into this season, or looking to improve the squad, up against the City side that's, well, hit the ground running once again. Well, West Ham have improved, but they haven't improved enough to beat Man City, as far as I'm concerned. The normal, I think City will get the job done there. Look, it was not going to be that easy. They will struggle a bit, but at the end of the day, I think they'll get the job done against West Ham. West Ham will be up there in the season in the top 8, but not quite pushing for that top position.
Now, it just got underway about half an hour ago, but the side that came up with the biggest upset in world football last week, Brighton up against Arsenal. This time, you're looking at them coming up with 2 big upsets in a row?
No, can't see it happening.
Really?
Brighton
can't beat United and then add Arsenal to the mix?
It's not going to happen. Definitely not.
Yeah, so your money there is definitely on Arsenal, yeah?
Yeah, definitely on Arsenal. Arsenal play Villa, definitely on Villa.
Leicester Villa. Yeah. There's another game to look forward to today.
Another good one, Villa though.
Yeah, Leicester back, Vardy's back.
No, Villa will be the team.
All right, then let's talk tomorrow. Newcastle, Tottenham Hotspur is what I'm looking forward to. You touched on Newcastle.
Yeah.
And Tottenham is always a talking point, no matter what season we
Yeah, but once again, Tottenham started off badly, got the result last week. You know, you look at this, you're going into this game. I like the way Newcastle defend. They're very solid at the back. I think this game's got draw written all over it, unfortunately for both teams.
Now, Manchester United, Liverpool, you and I are on opposite ends of this one. What are your thoughts on this?
Looking back at last week, and if you take last week's form, there's only going to be one winner, and it's not going to be Man United.
Yeah.
But when Liverpool play against Man United, United always raise their game. And that's one of the big things about this game is they always seem to raise it up against Liverpool. I still feel Liverpool are going to be a bit too strong for them. I will be back in Liverpool, and not because I support them, because my head is telling me that they are the better team at this stage. I will back them.
Well, when Shane McGregor says he's back in Liverpool, I back him in this instance in saying, well, even as a United fan, I see Liverpool walking away with 3 points here, and it's not about favouritism, it's just about having your head in the right place. So for United fans, we'll be hoping for the upset, but it's looking tough against Liverpool, and what a start to the English Premiership this season. So thanks to Shane McGregor. On the other side of this, we got Jerry Skosana. We took all things MTN8, and my, oh my, what exciting times we're in.
Check these guys. Let's show them how it's done. I see it. Let's have a
your feet like this.
Let's see how you play.
Move your feet like this.
Welcome back to GameON. Now, as we mentioned at the start of the show, what a start of the season it has been already. And as far as the MTN8, well, the good times are certainly rolling. Joined now by the Legs of Thunder, Jerry Skosana. And Janana, let's talk firstly the first of the semi-finals. Pirates against Cape Town City. It was supposed to happen on Tuesday. Inclement weather meant they had to play the game on Wednesday. Your thoughts on what was an exciting game, but it had a few surprises here and there.
Thanks, Caesar. Yeah, I think so. But for me, it's like if you have to go to work, it doesn't matter how circumstances come upon you, but if you have to go and work, you have to go and work. Yes, I do understand maybe when Pirates were supposed to play on Tuesday, it had some little bit of effect on the Pirates side, but for them to draw, we cannot put that as an excuse. So for me, it was just an overall of the Pirates' performance. So the movement of the match, I cannot maybe give it to somebody as an advantage to Cape Town City, but Pirates should have done better.
Okay, I hear that, and also many will look back at the Champions League game against the side from Madagascar and say Pirates first half flying. 4-0 at the end of 90 minutes. They come into this game with good momentum, win the Galeni. But then again, Masi Pegale game, can't we look at it and say credit to Cape Town's City in the game they played, in a game they could have won had it not been for China's heroics.
Yes, it's true. So, I mean, Cape Town Spurs should have won the game. I mean, let's give credit to China because they saved Pirates. But for me, somehow always believe, like, if you are a player, you want to get success out of what you're doing. You need to get the results because the only thing that can make everybody happy, supporters, management of the club, it's when the team is scoring goals and winning games. It's not about just toying around and playing the game and then you just have the gallery, like being at the, putting you into the game because you are skillful. But what is your contribution in terms of the team going forward? I'm talking about Maswanganye. For me, he's a good player. He's a quality player that everybody wants to see. But what I saw on a Wednesday, I mean, for me, it wasn't good enough because he needs to know. The coach needs to tell him the effect. I mean, it happened again in the Champions League where he played only the 45 minutes. He got an unnecessary yellow card. He was substituted in the first half. So for me, it doesn't sit well, especially to somebody who's having a good contribution into the team.
Talk about the youngster Jaden Rhodes from Cape Town City.
Wow.
Good moments and eventually got this goal he had deserved. But what a performance overall from Jaden Rhodes, yeah?
For me, I was looking at Rhodes and Stuart, the Namibian.
Yeah.
You know, I was like impressed.
Yeah.
And lucky for Pirates, because you look at the Namibian who was taking a lot of attention into the Pirates central defenders. Rhodes was more like a number 10, coming into those holes. I mean, he should have scored maybe two or three.
Yeah.
Yes, he scored one, but Rhodes is a quality player.
Now, second leg,
it's going to be difficult for Pirates. I think maybe they change, maybe the effect of the change of the date of the game in Cape Town. But if the mentality would be the same from Cape Town, I don't see them coming back to qualify for the final. They need to change their approach when they play at home.
All right, now let's switch over. Mamelodi Sundowns against Stellenbosch, another big game. And Ukalewe na Oklahoma beginning of the season in Sundowns, you had question marks here and there. Tell us about the beginning of the season up till now, the game you saw this week for Sundowns. Polokwane City first, now Stellenbosch.
Let's look at how they played against Polokwane City.
Yeah.
They were let off the hook. They got a red card. They got a central defender who was taken to be the goalkeeper in the last 15 minutes. In an optional time, they bring in the goalkeeper. They were lucky. For me, I wasn't convinced to say this is the Sundowns where Rolando Mokoena, their previous coach, was coaching. It's a whole change. I mean, even the players themselves, there is a lot of individualism in terms of play. It's no longer a combination of what you see with Sundowns. You know, they are like a lot of talking, shouting at each other, players not understanding each other. You know, for me, Sundowns were just like again on Wednesday, not to get hammered 4 or 5. So it's up to them how do they fare tomorrow in Durban. So I think it's up to Sundowns, but yeah, the supporters, I don't think they're happy with what is happening at Sundowns.
On the steady side, questions when Reiners left, but Basone Umojela, and he's busy up front, he's defending right from the front, he was causing problems, helping others like Titus come into the game. What did you think Stellies did right? What was good about Stellies in the game?
The attitude, the approach.
Yeah.
They wanted to win the game. That's what you will see between the two teams. You look at the players' moral in terms of what they want to do. You look at the other team. For me, they were just like, you know, strolling around and playing around. But Stellies, it was a different team.
Now, let's go back to last week.
Yeah.
Which is the fact that the second leg is in Durban works against the Stellies. But Stellies played now Ihon Spurs, yes, Eswatini. And they've played in Durban now. They've scored goals over these matches they played, including against Sundowns. Do you still see the second leg being in favor of Sundowns?
I'm changing now.
Including what you saw,
it really, because last time when I spoke about this in the first leg, I said Stellies needs to bring their A game because it's going to be difficult to go and play a home game away from home, which is Moses Mabhida. Sundowns is going to have the advantage. But for them to beat Sundowns, like Lucas Morepe, I think for me they still have an advantage of going to Durban because they played there, their CAF Cup. So yeah, I mean, for now I can stand with, it's going to be disappointing on my side, man. You know, I even mentioned Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns in the final.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like things are going to change in the final.
So you're saying instead of a Gauteng final, we could have a Western Cape final?
We're going to have a Western Cape and a Gauteng team in the final.
Which is the Western Cape team in the final?
I would pick Stellenbosch. And then Pirates needs to bring different approach at home.
So you think Pirates at home can still do it against Tinkler?
They can, if they change their approach.
And then Sundowns, what can they do to turn things around? Or can they turn things around? What are your thoughts on Sundowns?
I saw something with the technical team. I've never seen Mangoba Mngwiti standing up and giving instructions in the bench when he was still working with Rolando Mokoena. But what I saw on Wednesday, both of them, Steve Kompela and Mangoba Mngwiti, you could look at their facial expression, that they were not happy with what was happening inside, but they were not inconsultive amongst each other. So that's where you look at the disjointed Sundowns in terms of how do you want the players to be together. The technical team needs to be together first. That's how you get things coming right. But I see a lot of problems there at the Sundowns camp.
Well, lots of problems. Says Jerry Skosana, I'll tell you what, it's anyone's guess who'll be in the final here. Jerry says one from the Western Cape, one from Gauteng. Some will be thinking Western Cape in the final, some will be thinking an all Gauteng final. We'll have to wait to find out, but exciting times indeed. Now, I did promise you a special interview on the other side of this, and still keeping it a bit of a secret as we get closer to what should be a very interesting chat in the last segment of the show. Stay with GameON. Welcome back to Game On. Now, as we promised you a special interview in the last segment of the show, we have a FIFA-accredited football agent who's managed some of the best football players in the past. Now, I'll speak of Ralph Sports International, and of course, the man in question is Mr. Ralph Ngomo, who joins us here on Game On. Ralph, thank you so much for your time. Busy man, based, here in Johannesburg or in South Africa, London, and Paris as well, if I'm not mistaken, yeah?
Yeah,
And still looking to expand further.
yeah, we're looking at opening an office in Doha as well. But yeah, thank you for inviting me. Good seeing you again.
It's good to see you.
And yeah, I'm home.
Yeah, welcome home, by the way. Now, for those that don't know, take it back a bit now. Please tell us about why and how you came about to become a football scout at the beginning.
There comes a time when you think, okay, I'm not actually such a great footballer. Let me try other things. And I had built a base of lots of African players. And one day, Giroud, a very famous French coach, who coached Auxerre for 45 years, came to me and said, listen, you know this boy, this boy, this boy. I would like to sign them. But you get me all these players here, and I look after you. So I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I bring one of the players, because he was a mate of mine. We go, he has trials, I'm on the ground. He makes it. So they call me into the president's office, President Hamel, and then he was about 8 years. And he says, you know, which means young man, don't ask for too much money. So I said, I get paid for this.
Oh, you didn't expect to get paid.
So he says, we'll give you 10% of what the boy is going to get. And I'm thinking, wow.
Okay.
Do you want another player? He says, yeah. So that's how it started.
Okay.
And then while we're doing that, Giroud was in hospital having a heart transplant. And while he was there, people like Arsene Wenger, Uli, they were his friends. They were coming to see him.
Yes.
So obviously when they're talking, he says, no, I got this young man who speaks English.
Yeah.
He can be our conduit for players to come to England. So I became like the center of agents that want to take players into England. So remember you seeing Wenger on TV, and now you're sitting with them and say, oh no, I can bring you this player and this and this. And it's just, but what was important, Giroud said, I must come every day to watch training so that I understand how coaches think.
And what it is they're looking for.
What is it? Because remember, coming from here, you want someone who can stand on the ball and do all that nonsense.
Sure.
But when you actually understand the difference between the technique here and what's wanted in Europe, and what kind of player, the physical application, the speed of thought, and all those kind of things, you can only understand that if you spend time at the training ground.
Can you please just name a few of the players you've represented? Just name drop just a few.
I had Benjani.
Yeah.
I had Nwanko Kanu. I had Bakary Sanya.
Yeah.
I had Yunus Kabul. I had Stefan Sessignon. I had John Otaka. I had. Then I started collaborating with agents, and the agent of Michael Essien didn't have a permit to work in France or England. Okay. So I had to do his deal on his behalf. Yeah. And that became my, until Portsmouth said to me, no, we can't keep buying players for you. Come work for us.
As a scout?
As a chief scout for for Africa and Europe,
Now, also, more importantly, and here in Southern Africa as well, we're all happy to have Zimbabwe back in the fold in as far as international football. Yeah. I do believe you played a role in helping Zifa get back to the fold and sort out their issues. Can you just give us some background in that regard?
What helps you to work as a football agent is to be able to be a glue to make people come together. So in most of these things, it's miscommunication, lack of strategic communication. People fight, they don't talk. Yeah. So I was approached by President Atu of COSAFA, and who had the mandate of President Motsepe to say, we need Zimbabwe back.
Yes, we do.
So I went to Zim, spoke to the ministry and spoke to the Sports Commission to say, you know what, let's find out what is the fight about.
Yeah.
Then there was a lot of disagreement between the ZIFA that had been suspended, and it was a simple case. The Zimbabwean government, in their own right, just wanted audited accounts for the previous 5 years to say, what are you doing with the money that we're giving you? And the suspended executive was saying, no, we don't have to report to you.
Yes.
We can. So it's a bit like your father gives you pocket money and you say, no, you can't tell me what to do with it.
Yeah.
So, well, the minister then wrote to FIFA to say, listen, we need this sorted out or we're suspending them. But FIFA didn't move, so as a result, they suspended them. So I managed to get the government to agree to meet FIFA and CAF and COSAFA. And President Atu was actually very instrumental. So he represented FIFA with Gelson Fernandez, who did a very good part as well, and CAF, because the president was on the phone all the time. Get it through, get it through. So we managed to calm down the Minister of Zimbabwe. She lifted the ban, and then FIFA banned the previous executive, and then they asked, they compiled normalization committee that you see now. But their term is finishing now. There will be elections soon, and there will be a proper executive to
Well, and we're hoping Zim can get back to their full strength in the very near future internationally. Also, you mentioned COSAFA, and that's an interesting one because the COSAFA region is amongst the busiest regions in the world, and it's also been praised by FIFA for the work they've put in over the years. The region also, you're seeing, is beginning to shake things up on the continent as well, and as far as the AFCON and such, both on the female and on the male sides. Your role, please let us know on that, in what you play, the role you play with the COSAFA president as an advisor, maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm his advisor, and I'm also their consultant in. There's a vision, which is a vision that's shared, maybe driven. Let me say driven by Dr. Motsepe and Atu. We want in football for clubs and federations to stop depending on government.
Yes.
So my role is to bring in corporate and sports and start clubs and federations monetizing the sport. To give you an idea, the potential of business in Africa, football business is about $40 to $50 billion. At the moment, it's $4 billion. So imagine the gap.
Yes.
So corporates don't really want to be associated with football. Why? It's because the way football is run. It's a family team. It's you've got probably one chairman who can even walk into the changing room and say, I want this left back off, you know that kind of thing. So people do not take our football serious, and they do not want their image associated with that. But we want to change that. And one of the ways we want to change, we want to definitely digitalize football, make everything 2024.
Yeah.
Social media, fan engagement, sponsorships, and promote women football as well.
True.
And women football is becoming the fastest growing sport in the world. We need to support that. We need to stop being, oh no, this ladies football.
Yeah.
We need to stop that. And for that to happen, also support youth, schools, football. And so that's all I'm trying to get people to start. We call it in England, they like putting bums in the seats in the stadium.
Yeah.
So that people can come and it becomes a family day, fun day to come and watch football, not to be scared to go out to the stadiums, you know. So because it's the #1 sport in the world, isn't it?
#1 sport in the world, indeed. Now, we did promise you a special interview with what I'd like to think of as football royalty and those that play a huge part in the growth of African football behind the scenes that you may not have known of. And that, of course, one of those gentlemen is sitting alongside me. That's Ralph Nkomo. Ralph, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for the work you put in, in favor of the African continent, and long may your success continue, bro.
Thank you so much. We want the motherland to be in our lifetime. I mean, I'm only 32 years football age.
Yeah, mine is 25 football age.
So we want in our lifetime to see an African team lift the World Cup.
Yeah.
Wouldn't we die happy?
Wow, smiles on our faces, yeah?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ralph. That's Ralph Nkomo. Thank you so much. Now, as you know, the Hollywood Foundation has been hard at work throughout the country in giving back to the football fraternity. It was no different when they went out to, help out with the Mangoba Community Foundation Tournament. Let's find out more about that.
Umzimkhulu, a town part of the Harry Gwala District Municipality in KwaZulu-Natal, is home to the Mangoba Mngqithi Foundation. Mangoba Mngqithi, a celebrated football coach known for his strategic brilliance and passion for the game, has always been dedicated to nurturing young talent. Through his foundation, he has created opportunities for youth to excel in football.
When we sponsor these sort of tournaments, we're looking at young players that are coming up. There's also people here to scout to see if they can find the next football star. So our goal is to support this development in grassroots football and allow these players to showcase their talents and move on to the next phase.
The foundation aims to foster personal growth and community development by providing structured programs that focus on skills development and holistic well-being.
The idea is to give the players at this level as many tournaments, as many competitive games, so that they can develop in their football. We organize for them external games with the likes of the PSL teams like AmaZulu, and also to play in a tournament makes the difference because at least they're playing for something.
At the heart of this vision is the belief that every young player deserves the chance to achieve their fullest potential, both on and off the field.
Sibonga kakhulu kwi-Hollywood Foundation ngokuthi isincedise kakhulu siyiManqoba Mngqithi Foundation ngalesi sponsor sabo abasinikeze thina senze umnikelo omkhulu ikakhulukazi ezinganeni zakule ndawo.
In the ladies' finals, Gokstad Sports Academy defeated Nkwezela Ladies FC and claimed 8,000 Rand in prize money, a new kit and a prestigious trophy.
The proud ngeteam yam esebenze kahle ngokwami ndabonga. Nabonga nje for ukusinika lithuba sizobonisa italente yethu mina nabantu nje bonke ezowhole zonke nje amajita ama ladies ntombazana yabo sizinje amantombazana kanako angikusoka ngoku nje lento sinceda kakhulu.
On the boys' side, Blackpool FC triumphed over United Stars FC. The Manqoba Mngqithi Foundation Tournament and others like it have proven invaluable in developing football from the ground up.
Team edlala vele Hollywoodbets Super League ne. So last season ngicabanga ukuthi besenze kabi kakhulu and ukuparticipate la and ukuthi senze kahle kangcono. Ngicabanga ukuthi it's a boost right coming to a new season.
Well, there you have it. Hollywood Foundation continuing to give back, and long may their success last. So we have come to the end of the show here, and we'd like to thank you at home for taking the time to join us. Don't forgetting Ralph Nkomo for joining us here on what was an interesting chat, including our legends in Shane McGregor as well as Jerry Skosana. So from me, Sizwe Mapena, and the rest of the team that is behind the scenes, click, bye.